most of the advice you will hear from people is complete bullshit. A lot of the time, it's stuff you've probably heard before, it's very generic, but although people mean well, it's not the best advice you should be taking. I'm sure if you're anyway like me, you would have heard things like, oh, don't be so hard on yourself, live a balanced lifestyle. You know, doing this is too extreme. You would have heard those things before if you're anyway like me, or maybe you've heard other people say those things. That advice is not really good. Although, as I said, the people mean well, it's not going to get you far. Being in a balanced lifestyle is not going to get you far. If I was living a balanced lifestyle, I'd be back how I was a couple of years ago, being shy, weak, unconfident, not liking myself, and I'd probably still be doing the same shit that I was 2 to 3 years ago. Living a balanced lifestyle, this is probably one of the most annoying ones that I hear. Oh, like, live a balanced lifestyle, like, don't be so extreme, don't be so hard on yourself, all these things, is because if I was living a balanced lifestyle, I'd still be eating like shit. I'd still be gooning fucking twice a day. Oh, I went to the gym today, I earned this junk food, or I earned this goon. That's who I was. But a balanced lifestyle won't get you far. It's much better to be a complete extremist. Although it's harder to do mentally and physically for you, it will take you further. And you might be saying, okay, Kim, well, why should I take advice from you if you say don't take advice from a lot of people? Well, the reason you should take advice from me is because I have been the guy who's heard this advice and listened to it. And I'll play some clips. I was, again, shy, unconfident, insecure. I was skinny. I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like how I was as a person. And from not listening to the most generic advice that you'd hear, I became better. I improved myself. And you might have already said at the start of this video, like, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Or, oh yeah, he's got a point. You might have already said that while I was talking. Another one that you'll always hear is don't take life too seriously. If I only have one shot at life, because that's all you get, if I only have one shot, why wouldn't I go for it all? Why wouldn't I try to make the videos, to work hard in the gym, to be as successful and as big and as strong as possible? Why wouldn't I? If I only get one shot. Now the counter argument to this is like, oh, but you gotta like relax and like party and have fun and all that stuff. Like, when I go out, I don't have fun, really. I go out and I see my friends, that's the only thing I care about. But I don't really have fun. If you're someone who goes out a lot and you want to go out, fair enough, you might not want to listen to my advice. But for the few people who kind of understand what I'm saying, they're gonna know the fun things that people talk about will never get you far. And life doesn't always have to be fun. You can work and make a shitload of money and then life is fun, but the work isn't fun. Going to the gym when you're tired, when you're sore, that's not fun all of the time. Sometimes the gym is fun, absolutely. I've been to the gym and I'm hitting bench and I'm there with some of my friends. Great time. But not all the time. So the hard work isn't always fun, but the hard work will take you far if you're trying to get somewhere, if you're trying to achieve a goal. So the premise of this video is don't take advice from most people, and specifically don't listen at all, so this is advice or criticism or whatever, from people you don't like or don't respect, or most importantly, if they don't have what you want. Because I get comments on my TikTok videos or my YouTube videos, whatever else, of people criticizing me. I might look at the profile and I see them and I'm like, you don't have a better physique than me. You don't have more followers than me. You are hating on someone trying to better themselves. So why would I listen to them? I heard this thing recently when I shaved my head for locking in. Check out the previous video, it'll be up here somewhere. But I shaved my head, and I remember one guy said to me, I don't know, was he messing, or was he actually just like asking or kind of saying a joke? But or trying to get at me. I don't know. But he said, "Oh, bro shaved his head and now he's trying to be a content creator." I'm like, yeah. For the people who kind of make fun of you or who say shit like that, like criticize you, if you stand on business, hold frame, and if they say like, "Oh, bro's trying to be a content creator, bro's in the gym now like 3 times a week," just stand on business and say, yeah I am, yeah, that's what I did, that's what I do. That's another little tip. Stand on business always, hold frame. You're going to be the better person for that. Now, this approach of not listening to people if they don't have what you want or anything, if you don't really like them, it is kind of egotistical. I'm not going to deny that it is. But I'd rather it be that way than listen to people who will impact me negatively. If I listen to their advice, I'm not going to get better compared to if I did my own thing or took my own advice. For example, when I was first posting TikToks, when I actually shaved my head for the first time, I remember one guy said to me, I can't exactly remember what he said, but I know it put me off so much, and I started hearing people talking about my TikTok and stuff, and this is when I was like just starting, so I only had a couple hundred followers, but I got so like worked up by hearing so much things from other people that I actually deleted all my videos, and then I didn't start back again until last year. Well, not even a year, like 9 months ago. And that was because I listened to other people that I shouldn't have, because they weren't in the position that I wanted to be in. They didn't have what I wanted to have. They also didn't know what I was doing, or they didn't respect what I was doing. So I shouldn't have listened to them. But I did, and I made that mistake, so you should not make that mistake. I'm hoping if you made this far in this video, you won't make that mistake, because it does set you back. Absolutely, and it did for me. Now, the people you should take advice from and criticism from is people you respect or people who have what you want to have. Now, people you respect is a difficult one because, okay, I respect my family and I respect my friends. Absolutely, 100%, I do as well. However, if I know a certain friend is giving me advice on something that I know more on, or I know is wrong, I'm not going to listen to. See, I have a very good group of friends, very tightly knit group of friends I'm very grateful for. Some friends, I wouldn't go to them for advice on the gym because some of them don't really go to the gym. But that same person I would go to advice on about girls, or I would go to advice on about making videos, or just in general. So you have to be careful who you're taking advice from and if it's the right person to be taking advice from, depending on what the advice is about and what the situation is. But ultimately, if it's people you respect and people who have what you want to have, you can listen to them. They always are going to have your best interest at heart. Definitely your friends and your family, 100%. But the other people, like other content creators or bigger guys in the gym or better guys at the boxing gym or whatever else, you can take advice from them because they have what you want to have. You want to be bigger, you listen to the guy who's bigger and stronger in the gym. You want to get better at boxing, you listen to the guy who's had 10 fights and won them all. You know, if you haven't had a fight, they're the people you want to listen to, because listening to anybody else who doesn't have what you want to have will not be helpful advice by any means. So the next time you ever hear anything like, "Oh, don't be so hard on yourself, don't be so extreme, have a balanced lifestyle," remember that these people, more often than not, don't have what you want to have. So you shouldn't really listen to them. Being an extremist will take you way further. And I know that because I've been through it. So when you hear those things again, think back at this video. Don't be too hard on yourself. You know, I need to be hard on myself. Otherwise, I won't do anything. Otherwise, I'd lie in bed and scroll on TikTok all day. You have to be hard on yourself. Don't live a balanced lifestyle. All this advice you will hear, and you will hear time and time again, because I still hear it. it doesn't always have your best interest at heart, and it isn't always the best advice you should be taking for whatever situation you're in. As always, I wish you all the best, my friend. Goodbye.